What if I told you that the single most important component of an unbreakable mind, mental toughness, does not require hours of meditation, months of grueling effort, or massive feats of suffering? For too long, we have associated mental strength with spectacle, climbing mountains, running ultramarathons, or enduring financial ruin. These are the results of toughness, not the daily practice that forges it. The truth is that the difference between the fragile mind and the resilient mind is built in minutes, not months. It is built through a single daily practice that inoculates your mind against the corrosive effects of fear, paralyzing doubt, and soul-crushing external criticism. This routine is short. It is brutal in its efficiency. It is entirely non-glamorous. But when executed daily, this 5-minute practice acts as a vaccine for your willpower, building a silent, unshakable resilience that makes you immune to external chaos. Today, we decode this powerful, simple routine and reveal the 7 core principles that make it work. This is the truth about sustained, quiet strength. You're listening to a special presentation from the Zenith Voice, prepared to reclaim your mental focus and build the most valuable asset you possess, an iron will. The first core principle that powers this 5-minute routine is the absolute rejection of comfort, the principle of micro-discomfort. Mental toughness is not a natural state. It is a learned skill of tolerating, embracing, and eventually preferring discomfort. The average person spends their entire day avoiding friction. They choose the warm shower, the soft bed, the easy task, and the quick fix. The unstoppable person understands that the only way to expand your capacity for large-scale pain is to practice with small-scale pain daily. The hard truth: if you constantly indulge your comfort in small things, your mind will surrender instantly when faced with a large challenge. This 5-minute routine must involve a controlled, voluntary exposure to something your body and mind naturally resist. This acts as a daily dose of psychological training, proving to your nervous system that you are in command, not your desire for ease. The classic example is cold exposure, finishing your shower with 60 seconds of ice-cold water. Why it works? Your body screams, "Stop! This is a threat!" Your mind, through conscious will, says, "No, we will endure this. We are safe, and we are in control." The result? You gain an immediate, irrefutable proof of concept. I can choose to be uncomfortable, and I can choose to sustain it. The intensity is not the point. The consistency is the point. That 5-minute commitment, whether it's cold water, a brutal set of 5 push-ups, or a painful 60 seconds of stretching, is a tiny, intentional friction that deposits daily interest into your mental toughness bank. It is the cheapest, fastest way to inoculate yourself against the demands of true suffering. The second principle is that the routine must be a powerful, personal reminder of self-authorship. Mental toughness is rooted in the belief that you are the primary creator of your own experience. When you feel helpless or dependent on external factors, your resolve crumbles. Your 5-minute routine must be so irrational and self-directed that it has no external validation. It must be something you do solely because you commanded yourself to do it. The hard truth? If you need an audience for your discipline, your strength is conditional. True toughness is an act of private sovereignty. If you're a writer, your 5-minute routine should not be writing because that's externally motivated by your career. It should be something like 5 minutes of rigorous analytical reading on a completely unrelated, difficult subject. The goal? To force your brain to engage in complex thought when it does not feel like it, and purely for the sake of mental sharpening. The reward? You prove to yourself, I am the type of person who chooses hard work over ease, even when there is no reward, no deadline, and no one watching. This habit builds an internal compass. It reinforces the idea that the source of your discipline is internal command, not external pressure. This psychological victory, the quiet, personal triumph of your will over your comfort, is the core fuel for all subsequent large-scale achievements. The routine's value lies in the proof of concept it provides every single day. Mental weakness is often disguised as distraction. When faced with a difficult challenge, the mind seeks refuge in scrolling, noise, and multitasking. The third core principle of this routine is mandatory single focus. These 5 minutes must be protected from all digital, visual, and auditory noise. The hard truth: if you can't focus on a single difficult task for 5 minutes, you can't be trusted to focus on a life-changing task for 5 hours. During these 5 minutes, you must cultivate the ability to sit with the discomfort of attention. This means no music, podcasts. The silence forces you to face your own thoughts and the physical sensations of the micro-discomfort, Principle 1. No checking the time. You must resist the urge to look for the finish line. The 5 minutes must be felt entirely, teaching your mind patience and endurance. No distractions. The environment must be sterile. Phone on airplane mode, door closed. The routine, therefore, becomes a daily training session in mind management. When the external chaos of your professional life begins, your mind has already been fortified by this small, perfect block of concentration. You've practiced ignoring the internal panic and external noise on a small scale, making it easier to ignore massive chaos on a large scale. This is how you fortify your attention span, the bedrock of all high-value work and emotional stability. Mental toughness is tested not in the starting, but in the sustaining. The primary threat to this routine is the voice of negotiation that arises just before the end. The fourth principle is the 459 non-negotiation rule. Once the routine is started, the terms of the commitment are non-negotiable until the very last second. The undisciplined mind starts a task and immediately begins negotiating the end condition, like 3 minutes is probably enough, or I'm already tired, so I'll stop now and do extra tomorrow. This negotiation habit is lethal to self-trust. The hard truth? Your body will quit the moment your mind gives it permission. Never give permission before the clock hits 0. For those 5 minutes, you are simply an execution unit. You are not a critical thinker, an emotion sensor, or a comfort seeker. You are simply following a preset command. When the internal voice begs you to stop at 4:30, you must override it with a practiced internal mantra. The commitment is absolute. We do not negotiate the final 30 seconds. Winning this tiny internal battle, the one fought in the final moments of endurance, deposits the highest interest into your mental toughness bank. You are teaching your mind that when the commitment is made, the body will follow, regardless of the discomfort or fatigue. This single principle ensures that your will is always stronger than your whim. Most people finish a difficult task and immediately seek validation, distraction, or the next task. They destroy the very psychological benefit they just earned. The fifth core principle is the post-execution silence, a mandatory, non-reactive pause immediately following the 5-minute routine. Mental toughness requires time to integrate the feeling of victory. If you immediately grab your phone or rush into your next activity, you erase the powerful physical feeling of accomplishment. The hard truth: you must celebrate your discipline privately before you ask the world to reward your results publicly. After the 5 minutes of micro-discomfort are complete, you must immediately transition into 60 seconds of absolute stillness. No movement. Stay exactly where you finished the routine. No thought intervention. Simply feel the lingering physical discomfort and the accompanying flood of self-efficacy, the "I did it" feeling. The integration. Allow your nervous system to register. I chose the hard path and I survived it. I am stronger. This silence is where the psychological cement sets.
It is the moment where the tiny deposit of discipline is formally credited to your account. By holding this silence, you consciously anchor the feeling of resilience, making it instantly retrievable when a major crisis hits later in the day. The memory of the small, painful, silent victory becomes the psychological defense against fear and doubt. The 5-minute routine is worthless if its benefits are contained within those 5 minutes. Its purpose is to influence the remaining 23 hours and 55 minutes of your day. The 6th principle is the commitment to the daily transfer goal. Immediately following the post-execution silence, you must identify one single difficult task later in the day and consciously assign the 5-minute discipline to it. The hard truth: discipline is a muscle. If you don't use the strength you just built, it atrophies instantly. The transfer goal must be small, specific, and something you would naturally resist. Example transfer goal: I will start the hardest email of the day at exactly 10 a.m., and I will not check social media until it is sent. The internal command: I felt the cold water for 5 minutes. Therefore, I can sit and write this difficult email for 20 minutes. You're essentially creating a psychological bridge from the small victory to the larger, externally focused challenge. By consciously making this connection, you teach your mind that the discomfort endured in the morning predicts and guarantees your resilience later in the day. This ensures the routine is not just a morning habit. It is a mental weapon you deploy strategically throughout your day to overcome the procrastination, fear, and self-doubt that stop average performers. You make your mental toughness portable and applicable. You now possess the entire blueprint for building an unbreakable mind. You don't need to suffer for hours. You need to suffer strategically for 5 minutes, daily. The secret is consistency, not intensity. It is the steady application of micro-discomfort, the proof of self-authorship, the mandatory single focus, the non-negotiation rule, the post-execution silence, and the daily transfer goal. Your biggest challenges will not be won by a sudden surge of motivation. They will be won by the cumulative resilience built during the hundreds of tiny, quiet, uncomfortable moments you commanded yourself to endure. Your will is a muscle, and today is your training day. Your immediate action step is this: identify your micro-discomfort routine. Whether it's the cold shower finish, 5 minutes of planking, or 5 minutes of focused breathing in silence. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Execute the task with the 100% rule, and follow it immediately with 60 seconds of post-execution silence. Do this once, today. If this message from the Zenith voice has armed you with the blueprint for an iron will, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel to join a community dedicated to mental mastery, and share this audio with one person who you believe is stronger than they know. The journey to quiet strength is continuous. Explore the next lesson in our library to reinforce these principles and solidify your commitment to mental toughness.